Life is just always trying to show you. Like, hey, wake up. I'm a mirror. Everything that happens to you is actually within you. This is why the same thing keeps happening to you. This is why you keep meeting the same people, keep living in the same circumstances, keep repeating the same reality for yourself. Because these are the thoughts and the beliefs that you have been continuously perpetuating and projecting into this reality. And this is all why these things happen. Waking up to our true nature is really about realizing this. Realizing that everything was just your own projection, trying to show you, trying to feed something back to you. Life has been continuously trying to tell you things. Life has been continuously trying to show you things. Through the triggers, through the bad experiences, through the setbacks, through the failures. Life is just trying to show you, to mirror to you what is within you. Because nothing can manifest, nothing can be created if it was not within you. So instead of wasting any time of frustrating, why does this happen again? Why do I again have a narcissist in my life? Why do I again have a failed rejection? Or whatever your continuous struggle is in life. Rather listen to what it is trying to tell you. What within me should I work on? What within me is manifesting and creating this reality continuously for myself? And really becoming this observer and this psychoanalyst of your own life. This is where the change starts. A lot of us have forgotten what the true essence is, the reason why we all incarnated here on earth. It's not for all these superficial things, as you might think, to gain more money, to have this relationship and all of these things. Of course, these things may happen, but these are just byproduct of life trying to show you. So what is life trying to show you? In each moment, life is trying to make you wake up. Make you wake up to your true nature, to your true self. And what is this true self? This true self is the consciousness of awareness, the observer, the one that experiences, not the one that is subjected to all of its experiences and being thrown around by life. No, this awareness is the creator of its own reality, as we all are. And this world that we live in is the illusion, Maya, the trap that we keep falling back into, that we keep believing, when in reality we are the true self, the consciousness that holds all of this. It is basically like dreaming, but not realizing that you're in a dream, and mistaking this for the truth. And we think that this physical reality is so different from our dream reality. But the only difference is the delay, is time, the stagnation. But we still have this creation power, which is just the fact that we are constantly projecting. Every time we open our eyes, we fall back into the illusion. This illusion that this physical reality is real. In a sense, real, that we are subjected to it, that we are thrown around by life, that we don't have a say in the circumstances that are happening to us. When in reality, we are the consciousness, the creator, the space holder that is all behind all of this. It is basically like we are living in a dream, but we don't realize it's a dream. We don't realize that this physical reality is just like a dream. And of course, there are gravitational laws and forces that make this physical reality real to us. But even those are part of this matrix, this mind construct that we've all collectively created, which is why things flow a certain way, why gravity pulls us down, etc. Now, this is really hard to fathom. But what it is truly about is this comparison that we are all one consciousness that is creating and manifesting this reality. And a good example is, for example, when you're dreaming. And in your dream there are multiple people occurring. But those people are all created by the same consciousness, by your consciousness, right? You're projecting them in your dream. We know this. But yet we see them all as separate. We see them all as separate individuals, but we know there was one consciousness behind it, our own, that manifested this. Now, this is the exact same for God or source consciousness, who is like dreaming us. We are all part of the same consciousness because we are all being projected or dreamed, or however you want to visualize this, by the same one consciousness. And this makes us all connected. This is what people mean when they say we're all one. Our consciousness all belongs to this one source consciousness. Now, not our ego, not our personality, not this identification, not this character that we're playing. We're all playing characters on this earth. And the illusion is that we believe we are this character, that we believe we are these thoughts, that we believe we are this mind and this body, and that this is separate from the other person. And this is true on the relative level. This is true from the ego perspective. Yes, there is a separate ego, but from a consciousness perspective, which is actually our true self, our soul, our true nature, this is completely false. There is no separation. It is just all different alchemations, different flavors, different manifestation of the same energy, the same source energy. And the way you could see it is that all of these souls are like fragments of the same consciousness, of the same God or source consciousness. And what we're trying to do when we're waking up is unifying again with that feeling of realizing that we are all one, that we are one consciousness. And what does this feel like, realizing that you are consciousness? Well, in the first stages, it really starts with realizing that you are the observer of everything that you experience, first of all. You are the observer of your thoughts. You're not the thinker, you're the listener. You are the observer of your feelings. You're not the feeler. The feelings get stuck in our system because we identify with these feelings and we think they are ours, when we were just the experiencer of these feelings. They were never permanent. And just the same with our senses. We are experiencing these senses, right? So really the first stage is like coming in that observer role of everything, taking this outside perspective. And how do you practice this observer role? In meditation or in presence, but start with meditation where you close your eyes and you first of all become the observer of the mind. You become the observer of the thoughts. You step out of the loops and you listen. You become so quiet, like you sit as still as possible and you quiet your mind as much as you can, no active thinking. And then you just listen. What does this mind have to tell you? Become the observer, become the awareness, become the true self. And the true self can only live in the present moment. Because only in the present moment we can observe and experience. And every time we go back to our thoughts, which are always about the past or the future, we fall back in the illusion again. We fall back in the falsehood that we believe in our thoughts. How can you practice as well with this growing in consciousness? You could do this practice during meditation, but even during the day. It really starts with expanding your consciousness, because we're very stuck in this mind. We're very stuck in here, identifying with this body, with this mind. What if we slowly start to grow it, expand it to the room? What if you try to expand your consciousness to the room, and then to the house, and then to the city, to the country, and then to the world, and then to the whole earth, and the planets, and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you start to expand and stretch your consciousness to hold everything. And you suddenly realize what a micro dot you are. How impersonal all of the feelings and experiences that you are having are. How small and minuscule they seem. How irrelevant. Where really most people fall very trapped to the illusion is when it comes to triggers. When it comes to triggers with other people. We think that they are doing this to us, they are angry at us, they are betraying us, they are cheating on us, they are doing all of this. But when you step back into the self, you understand, and this is what we always talk about with manifestation, you understand that everything comes from the same source energy, and that also means that everything is a projection. You only get served back to you from people what was within you. This is a very confronting thing to realize for the ego, because the ego, whenever it's angry, it loves to point fingers, or when it feels like a victim, it loves to point fingers. The other person did this, the other person did that. And all of this is the manifestation of your consciousness, both of your consciousness, because you share the same consciousness. You're all part of the same movie. And realizing this can be very triggering for the ego. Realizing that everything that is happening to you, from triggers with other people, to the poverty that you're experiencing, to whatever, is an amalgamation of your own consciousness, a projection. And this is why this manifestation business was so booming, because to some extent people kind of woke up to this. It's like, wait, actually there is a correlation between what I think, what I feel, and what then happens in my reality. But this is not just when you practice scripting or do these things. This is constant. This is with everything. And this is really taking ultimate self-responsibility. When you realize this, that everything that happens to you, it's not your fault. We're not talking about blame here. It's not conscious. You're not doing this to yourself because you're mutilating yourself or malicious when bad things happen to you. But it is just a projection of your energy. And when you realize this, it also becomes less personal, because then you're like, okay, how can I work with this? If people keep being angry at me, maybe I have some anger in myself that I need to look at. This is really where it starts, right? And become really the observer, your own life and your own triggers. Growing in this awareness is really about practicing first with becoming the observer. And this starts in meditation. First becoming the observer of the mind and the feelings, and stepping out of the loops, using the breath as an anchor point to guide yourself back to the present moment every time the thought makes you think again, consumes you. Not necessarily suppressing thoughts, but also not feeding them, not generating new ones, just listening. A thought occurs, okay, interesting. This is, you also start to notice what type of thoughts continuously occur in your brain. It's like, let's say you sit down for meditation and there's this particular thought that keeps appearing and appearing. Listen to that. What is this thought trying to tell you? Why do you keep thinking of that thing? You actually start to learn so much about yourself and about the things that you're projecting into this world when you actually listen. But just becoming the observer, the listener, not the thinker, not the one that is thinking the thoughts, but rather the one that is listening and making him or herself so quiet that she or he can actually hear what life is trying to tell you, what life is trying to show you. Check out my course where I guide you through a 5-week, very comprehensive identity shift. Link is in the description, with guided practices, guided daily journaling, and live Q&A sessions, really for the people that want to step into their highest timeline. Thank you so much, and I'd love to see you in my next video. Sending much love.